All right, welcome. We are live again for this hot Friday evening. At least here it's hot here in Ohio. Welcome all. This is a Chromebook live test number 2. I've got this hooked up to my big screen. The built-in camera is not all that great, but I think it's good enough for this test. And like I said, I have it hooked up to my 40-inch TV, my usual headset mic that I use 99% of the time. I got a couple friends with me for this evening. We have Ansem, we have CJ, who's currently having a pizza. We have Ben. Ben is totally shy. He just left. Then we have Steve. But
Good
welcome all.
evening.
Good evening. And so, yeah, this is, I did one brief, somewhat brief Chromebook live test number 1 the other day without the camera. It ran fine. So we've often talked about, I'm going to turn on the radio, the CD player here with my friend singing. We've often talked about the possibility of a national Linux desktop, anything for the masses, something that you can go in the store, walk in, try it out, buy it, or something that's somewhat famous at a reasonable cost. And last year, the father of Linux, Linus Torvalds, was asked about when are we going to see success on Linux desktop. It's been 25 years. He was kind of frustrated, but he hinted that he wouldn't mind having Chromebooks or Chrome OS as a national Linux desktop. They just work. Chromebooks hit the sweet spot for price, performance, reliability, updates that don't get in your face, if you know what I mean. They just work. I just saw today you could pick up a refurbished Samsung Chromebook on Amazon for like $88.99, which is ridiculously low price. And guess what? I bet you that machine is going to be just as stable as $1,000 Pixelbook. Now, obviously, it won't be as fast, obviously, and the camera quality will not be the same. But in terms of the Chrome OS itself and what Chromebooks can do, this is my first one and absolutely rocks. I've been using this more than my ThinkPads, which have Linux. Now, they are fast. ThinkPads play nicely with Linux, as you all know. But in my garage, I have an older Toshiba dual core with Ubuntu on it. That one takes about 3 minutes to boot up, where I can go in and do what I got to do. This takes about 10 seconds or less. So there you go. Chromebooks sell for a reason. And the main reason is, especially for maybe Windows users who may have been leery about buying something that's based on Linux, based on Gentoo, but they sell mainly, I think, because they just work. There's no fiddling around with updates. There's no rebooting constantly as you would in Windows. Yes, I am looking at the chat. I have it on a dual screen here between the laptop and the large screen. But I would have no problem having a Chromebook or a Chrome desktop as a national Linux standard, where I can walk into Best Buy or Walmart or whatever store you have. Here we have Walmart, but there's no Best Buy, there's no Micro Center. To walk into a store and buy a Chrome desktop that would work just as good as this is working now. So for all the Windows users out there who maybe had bad luck with Linux, don't know what to buy, and you're mainly a web user, although nowadays you can do offline stuff with these. A lot has changed. I think the Chromebook first came out in 2011, 2012?
10.
I've lost track.
2010.
2010. Okay, thank you. Yeah, they do a lot more today, obviously, than what they did years ago. But bottom line is they just work. They just work. They get out of your way. And yes, there are Linux machines out there from System 76 and others, but they're overpriced for the masses. They're not bad machines. But when you go into that kind of price range, We already have machines that are priced $1,000 or more. Those are called Mac machines, you know. So we need a sweet spot machine that's $400 or less. Now these start, like I said, at $90 for a refurb, a smaller one. I think it's 11 point something. No, Ansem, you have more experience with these machines. I'm going to have you chime in here in a second.
Okay.
But they start about 90. Call it like $100 with the warranty. And I believe the high end Pixelbook, I believe, is 13, 14, 1500, and it's been called a flawless. It's the only Linux machine that I've seen on a press release or on a blog that's been called flawless. That's pretty good for Linux, considering the multitude of distros and bugs and fragmentation out there, which is really confusing for Windows users. And I get it. I still use Windows. So all you Windows users out there who are still thinking about this, I get it. I use Windows about 20% of the time, not as much. I don't like the update process. I'm sure those of you who use Windows don't care for it either. Windows 10 for me does work. The updates have not crashed my system, but I don't care for the update process. So I only use Windows when I have to, and that's once a week just to do the updates. And that's it. I don't have to do any multimedia stuff in there. Gaming, okay, Windows 10, Windows, Microsoft still controls gaming, and they do a pretty good job with gaming. I'll tip my hat to them. But in terms of a machine that gets out of your way, that's fast, it just works. Updates are in the background. You don't see them, practically. They're easy to use. These machines are easy to use. This is the Acer Chromebook 15. This, I believe, right now on Amazon is $140, I think, something like that. The speakers on this rock. This is the best sounding speakers I've ever heard. 15-inch, 15.6-inch screen. Battery life on this is between 10 to 12 hours, which ain't bad for a low-spec machine. Again, the camera is so-and-so, but that's okay. I mean, it works. Yeah, check out Chromebooks. You want a viable alternative to Windows 7 that expires January 20th, and you don't care for Windows 10, and you're mainly a web person, get on the web, email, Google Document. Here's the thing with the Chromebook. If you love Gmail or you use Gmail and you use Google stuff, calendar, docs, and so on, web streaming, web applications, these are going to work. These machines are going to work. Obviously, the more higher price you get, the better processor, more RAM, better camera, blah, blah, blah. But they are a perfect replacement for your Windows machine if you don't need specific Windows software. And fill me in on the rest of this.
Okay, stuff. You gotta watch out when you go to Amazon or Newegg or wherever and buy these refurb ones. Some of them are EOL, end of life, so you cannot get updates. Google's not updating anymore, but they still sell them. That's kind of an issue you got to watch out for on those. And
okay,
like I said, I've been using it for about a month now, and I have Linux just for gaming now on my desktop. I use this every day work. I've got all pretty much the same programs. I can do everything on this I can do in Linux.
Nice.
So, and only time I've been able to bog it down is by burning a USB. I mean, I've had 6 tabs open. I've had, Play Store going. It runs great. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about them other than if you're a big privacy advocate, that might be the issue with them.
Let's, real beef. Let me say hi to everybody in the chat. Joe, Heather, Frostbite, of course, everybody here. Math Cubes, did I miss anybody? Frostbite, I did. Okay. I didn't mean to ignore I don't want to lose my train of thought. Yeah, if you're into privacy, but here's the thing, and we've talked about this before, and I don't mean to be facetious or funny about this. If you truly want privacy, stay off the web. I don't care what you do, what steps you take, how many VPNs you do. You can wear a mask, camouflage, or how you talk. There is no privacy on the web. I hate to say that, but just the way our world is. Now, security is a different matter. These things are secure. I don't think malware is going to be a problem in these. I don't think ransomware and these things is going to be a problem. Yet, there was a story out of Florida, 2 cities, Riviera Beach and someplace else. They got hit. They coughed up over $1 million in ransom payments. It's pretty good business. And I'm thinking, don't these people have backups, either on site or in the cloud? Don't they have external storage? But they were probably using Windows and not Linux or Chromebook. Yeah. So the point is, with these types of machines, since they're based off of Linux, you generally speaking, you don't have to worry about malware. And yes, you will have a little bit more privacy in these types of products. But generally speaking,
in other words,
once you get on
a
the
good
web,
way to say that is that the average person is not targeted, but maybe like, you know, a city like that or it could be targeted, but the average person isn't really targeted.
Well, the funny thing is, not necessarily.
Email is probably the biggest, but
that's one way to get that type of malware.
I've never fallen for that.
Yeah, I'm assuming these cities did not use Windows 10 because Windows 10 has built-in anti-ransomware protection built in. It's not foolproof.
Have you seen the recent? I was going to look it up on my Facebook business page. There was a release just recently that came out. At first, there were 2 releases. There was one about previous Windows to Windows 8 and 10. There was ransomware that a worm, one of the really bad ones, one of the worst that's ever been out. And now they just put out a release another warning for Windows 10. Also, that there's a hack going around that's significantly. But that said, it's more so, in fairness, it's more so because of the bloatware that's being added on at these big box stores that to get into the stores. So it's kind of opening the door. But the point is even if it's the third-party software that's being put on there, Windows is not as secure to keep it out because that bloatware is on there. So it's not entirely Microsoft's fault, but it's not as secure as the.
I totally agree. I totally agree. It could be better. Windows 10 is more complicated than it needed to be. There was no reason for it, in my opinion. That being said, if you want absolute security, you want to go Chromebook or something Linux-based. Obviously, if you're a newbie and you download a random distribution, it's really going to be a 50-50 hit or miss whether it's going to work the way you want to or not. Even with the better ones like Ubuntu Mate, like a Linux Mint, Peppermint, and the list goes on and on. Those are great OSs for beginners, but it's a hit and miss. With these Chromebooks, it's all hits. There's no misses in my opinion. They just work.
Well, but it was funny that it was funny that you said that you boot up Windows once a week to update. I used to update my Windows 10 once a week too for 7 days.
Anna Rita, welcome. Sleepy joined. Sleepy, you're welcome to join. I sent you an invitation.
So Anselm, a quick question.
Yeah.
Do you think that those machines that are at end of life for Google setup, do you think that you'd be able to install the Chrome Ready on them?
Yeah, because I've got actually it on my HP ProBook. It's not a Google, but yeah, you can install it on there. So Cloud Ready would be optimal way to go.
I mean, that's what I got on it. This was actually, it used to be a Windows laptop, a Windows Pro laptop that I got it on. And it works pretty fun. So it's only like 2, I think, light updates behind regular Google Chrome because they do work with Google.
Yes.
I'm going to see if I can get Linus Torvalds on a live feed, a private live feed, and just say, hey, listen, I'm a different Linux. I'm a Windows user that promotes Linux. And if you want to come on the show, Linus, like a private, and just let loose and curse what you don't like, be my guest, man. Let's just tell it like it is. The good and bad about Linux. You're the real Big Daddy Linux, Linus. I think that would be cool just to get him on the show. But no, he said he wouldn't mind Chrome OS as a non-fragmented, national, quality Linux standard, and I haven't noticed any bugs. I mean, like Ansem, have you noticed any quirks or bugs in these things yet?
No, not yet. I mean, I've never had it crash. Like you said, it boots up amazingly quick.
It's 10
Everything
seconds or
works.
less. Yeah.
I even got a 27-inch monitor plugged into mine.
Okay,
that's great.
Yeah, I got this up to the 40-inch. Like I said, the built-in camera is so and so, but it works. It works. So hey, I think the ones that are like a 2-in-1, I think those would probably come in handy if you like to read or use the touchscreen. I think those are nice. Now, if you go into the higher priced ones, does the battery life change or not necessarily so? Does it get any better or not by that much?
If I remember reading, it was like down to 8 hours, like a normal laptop for the most part.
But that's not bad.
Yeah.
For the record, too, I just put those 2 links into the YouTube chat for anybody who wants to see them.
And this was for the ransomware thing?
Yeah, the one for the pre-Windows 8 was the ransomware. The other one was Windows 10 hack that is happening. So
this here, and hi, Vince.
Hey, guys.
Do you have a Chromebook, Vince?
Hey, Vince.
No, haven't got one. But I might be looking into one. It's very interesting.
You look cold, Vince.
Well, it's Australia, so the season.
You saw me earlier, Ben.
You look like you're ready to rob her bank. You got to put the full mask off. Just kidding.
I mean, it's got to be what, early fall now there, and you're that cold.
Winter now.
So it's full winter now.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't get as cold as
the poor
you guys, so I can't really complain. But because I'm sitting in my garage to get some peace and quiet, so there's no heating in here.
Okay.
Well, you've come to the right place to warm you up. We are a nice, warm community here.
That explains why you look like you got. See, our justice system takes mug shots with backdrops like that. So.
Oh yeah, I'm actually incarcerated at the moment. So
yeah, there you go.
These are my privileges.
Yeah, good one.
All right, so Chromebooks, it runs Android's apps pretty good. Haven't noticed anything puzzling or quirky about that. The Linux apps are experimental still. Some work, some don't. I tried the my favorite news reader, the one that scrolls across, Ticker, Tickr. If you guys want to check it out, it works great in Ubuntu. It didn't work that good in this, but it's still experimental, so it's no big deal. But you can, and I believe it's only Debian apps, right?
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
I think you can do app to install.
App, right? Okay, so it depends. It may or may not work. But the I said the Pixelbook is a perfect machine for what you pay for, and I've seen them as low as $600 for a refurb. But it's Linux, of course. It's Chrome OS, Android. It's Linux apps. It's a 2-in-1. You're able to, I believe, soon to maybe dual boot Windows. There's rumored. I don't know why you'd want to.
Yeah, that'll make any sense.
Okay. But a 5 or a 6-in-1 machine starting at $600, no one else is gonna give you that. Windows won't. Mac sure as hell won't. So I think the machines are priced right for what they do. Now, if you need specific software like Photoshop, Adobe, or whatever, well, that's understandable. Maybe this and Linux is not for you. I don't need those specific apps. The only thing these things lack right now across the board, from what I've seen,
and not to mention there are great counterparts to those apps for Linux.
Yeah, so I was going to bring that up too. Is that like?
Yes, that's true. If a newbie knows how to look. But multimedia in general, I haven't seen for example, a video editor that's not web-based for these. Does one exist? I haven't seen it.
I've been hearing stuff of Android Studio. I'm not sure. I've never checked into that. But
Android Studio.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the screen recorder, there's Screencastify, I think is one. I think there's a few more than that. That's web-based. I've tested it. It seems okay. But
yeah,
if I had to pick
10, the unpaid version, you get 10 minutes.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So if that's one weakness, I would say multimedia application. But that's generally a weakness in Linux that doesn't quite match the quality yet of Windows or Mac. It's getting there. But if I had to pick one weakness for the Chromebook, I'd say multimedia. Putting that aside, if you have Windows 7 and it expires at the end of the year, and you've heard about the horror stories with possibly Windows 10 updates breaking your system, you just don't want to deal with it, and all you do is Google stuff for Google Find, and you get on the web and Skype and all that, Chromebooks are going to be just fine. And I believe minimum guaranteed updates is what, 5 years?
Yes.
Right? Or more? Now, you did say if you buy a used one, I believe the update or the guarantee starts from date of manufacture, not the date that you buy it, right?
Right. It's manufacture date.
Okay. All right. So if you buy one that's 3 years old, even though it's new to you, you got 2 years of updates. So you better want to check the model number first. Of course, if all you spend is $100, and so what, right? Or or $150 or whatever that you pay for it.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it. I mean, you buy one, you're going to pay $200 for 5 years. That's
not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Right. Now, but say that 5 years is up. What's to prevent from trying to install a Linux distro or the cloud-ready one, Steve? Right? What's to prevent someone from installing that?
Nothing.
I'm just saying.
It can be done.
Right. But it's nice to have something that you know that you buy. Say you bought it new this year, that you're going to get at least 5 years. Do the Pixelbooks give you more than 5 years, 6 years, or is it about the same?
Don't know on that one.
Okay, I'm just kind of curious. Yeah, Joe. My webcam looks like crap, as you all know.
Well,
it's not the HD.
Too. That's I was wondering.
Yeah, it's just the one in the built-in Chromebook. I'm just running a test.
Okay.
This is normal. This is no fault of the machine. I think in general, cameras and laptops aren't really all that good, generally speaking.
Right.
I suspect in the Pixelbook it's going to be a lot better than this. But that being said, what you're seeing me pixelated, this is normal for this. This is just the one that's built in right in front of me. So this is normal. It's no fault of the machine. It's just the way it was designed. But I'm not noticing any freezes or hiccups. And this machine just has 2 gigs of RAM, which nowadays is nothing, but it seems to be running smooth for what it does. I have this hooked up to my 39-inch TV. It seems okay.
Well, what I would notice was funny is like when you're running Linux, you got Chrome open, you're looking at what, 2, maybe 3 gigs of RAM it's using. Mm-hmm. Now, I installed HTOP, and I had 3 tabs open. It was saying I was only using 736 megabytes of RAM.
Okay. That's not bad.
That's just weird.
Yeah, that COG app that you can install really doesn't give a lot of information, does it, Carmine? A COG for Google Chrome.
I installed COG and System. System gives a little more, I think. If you search System, I think it's just called System for Chromebooks or something. It gives a little more detailed information. But like I said, look, I'm still learning this machine. I'm still somewhat of a noob to Steve. Probably knows a little bit more than I do, and Ansem maybe knows a lot more than I do. But for what these things do for the price, this is the sweet spot. We did 5 Ubuntu shows, if you recall, back in January, trying to get a national Linux desktop, maybe with Ubuntu install. It's obviously Canonical doesn't give a crap about that, but that's okay. That's what they want to do is fine. But this is the sweet spot, because we talked about a $400 sweet spot, give or take. And there's really nothing else out there doing it except Google. And you can talk about the privacy issues, and that's valid. But there's nobody else doing it. And no bugs.
Yeah.
I mean, if a Windows user buy this and they say, well, this thing sucks, Is it the fault of the machine, or maybe the Windows purchaser was given the wrong information of what they can or cannot do? So it's not the fault of the machine. I haven't seen any bugs yet. So for all the Windows users who say that Linux sucks, you may want to try a Chromebook and go from there.
Well, I've been using Linux for 25 years, and I'm
Wow.
really liking my walled garden here.
Wow, 25 years.
Obviously,
That's a long time. That's more than me. 15 years.
Obviously, I'm the newest. I believe I'm the newest one to Linux here. You remind me of a decision I'm going through. So let's say I already have like 5 perfectly valid, good Windows licenses that are paid for, but at the same time, obviously I'm dissing Windows for what I feel is a good reason. But these are paid for licenses that I don't just want to, forget about. And I don't. It's probably silly, but what do you say to someone like that? That being their hesitation for going for Linux, I'm ready to give up Windows, and I'm ready to give up Windows, and I'm ready. I don't even have to wait to become an expert at Linux before fully jumping into it. I'm comfortable. I don't worry about bugs. I don't worry about anything.
No, that's a valid.
But what do you say to the guy that doesn't want to give up their Windows licenses and
That's a valid point. I would bring it to the next level and say, like, what if you pay like $2,000 for Adobe Suite? And like,
well, here's the thing. I still use Windows as a backup and to hook up my iPad Mini, my Zuna for a few games. That you don't have to give up Windows to enjoy Linux or a Chromebook. It isn't like there's a law stake to use this. You got to give up Windows. I use Windows once a week. Do the update, security patches, and you should. And right now, that's it. And maybe an occasional. I still like to play the racing game Asphalt 8. I think it's called Asphalt 8 or Asphalt 9 now, whatever it's called. If you have a Windows machine that you don't have to use, keep it updated. You don't have to throw it away or not use it at all. But there are, for some people, valid reasons, maybe for their job, maybe for specific software, like Adobe, quality software, in Windows.
I mean, Adobe's not cheap. There are decent alternatives. And like my question would be like, what if like you take that $2,000 you're going to pay Adobe for Photoshop and donate it to GIMP? Like if everybody were to pay the money they pay to Adobe for their suite and take that and donate it to open source projects, they would be better than the proprietary alternatives.
There are only a few companies right now with the resources to pull that off. Google is one of them. I think Amazon can do it. Maybe Intel, AMD if they want to. Right now, I see only 2 companies that might be interested. Obviously, there's Google because of the Chromebook, and Amazon. I think they tried to create their own Linux, semi-Linux phone with the Fire phone or something, and that, flunked. But their tablets sell. I just bought their 8-inch tablet. I had a trade-in, the Samsung trade-in for the 8-inch Fire Tab 8. That tablet cost me $33. Okay, so maybe the updates are only a few years. So what? For $33, I'm going to complain. Hey, you're ripping me off. I should not have paid more than $32. I mean, come on, But
I don't think anybody's paying $2,000 for Adobe anymore, though, are they? It's all subscription, so.
I don't know. I don't use Adobe.
Actually, they have the online, kind of what we were talking about before. They have the cloud suite.
Right.
The whole.
Matter of fact, I remember hearing that they were threatening legal action against people who are using Adobe products 2 versions older than what the current one is.
I don't know. And the other thing too, I've heard, and it was let's call it what it is, but I had heard talk that Adobe was considering, and I don't know how true it is, supporting Linux eventually here because it is a growing platform. Now that would be nice. To me, I don't really care, and to answer your question about, how do you get somebody that's got a bunch of paid licenses and stuff, I think it comes down to a mindset. I mean, I bought a perfectly good laptop specifically that I use for testing distros, and it had Windows 10 on it, and I wiped it out to get the bloatware off it. I did put Windows 10 back on, and then I isolated the drive. I don't even use the drive anymore. I just leave it in there. Here's the reason why, is because if I ever decide to get rid of the laptop, it's there. I mean, I could reload it, Windows, but I don't care to. I actually took the first thing I did within an hour of getting it was pull the DVD out. I bought a caddy for it. I put an SSD in there, put that back in, and that's what I use for my testing. I do have a Windows, my workstation I've talked about before. That's a dual boot with separate drive for Windows 10, but that's mostly for working on other machines. I don't really use it for anything else.
Okay.
Well, the point is I think it's a mindset. You got to get to the point when like you said, Carm, if somebody wants to get a machine, if they don't want to completely give it up, they want to get a machine and dedicate it and try and learn Linux on it or whatever, that's a good way to start. But I think if people are concerned about the data mining and stuff like that, that's what helps change the mindset. But like you said, too, in truth, every phone, we're walking around with data mining in our pockets. We're walking, you get online, as soon as you go surfing, whatever, it's all data mining. So
I would love 100% security and 100% privacy. That is the ideal system. But let's say that system existed, which it does. But let's say for the sake of argument, yes, you buy this ABC Uncle Guido machine. It's 100% family private. But once you get on the web, you see what I'm getting? Where's the privacy? Well, I'll get on a VPN, but then that person watching the VPN, or it never ends. So
this is my Windows 7 machine behind me, and the only reason it's on is because I was doing accounting today.
Okay.
And that does not go online. So to me, it doesn't matter with the expiration date coming up because it never goes online. And I would like to eventually migrate over maybe to GNU Cache if I can coordinate that out and learn about it. It's going to take time. It's going to be a big learning curve because I'm so used to my QuickBooks now. But that's eventually my goal, because that, and the only other thing would be is SketchUp that I use, for design work and stuff. I don't use my regular CAD system soft plan anymore like I used to for drawing house plans and stuff. So, but those are the only two programs that actually have kept me tied to that machine. And if I could get rid of and I don't do SketchUp hardly at all anymore like I used to, but I love it. Otherwise, I don't care, I mean, and that's the other way to go. If people can get in the mindset where they do Linux as their daily driver and then do Windows, what I did was I switched to the point where, hey, back like in the 90s before the internet was ever around, you had your Windows system and you bought your software, you did your work, and you were done. The downside to that today is unless you have, like you're talking the Adobe suites, they don't have native, you have to put a certain amount of files on there initially, even to run the cloud, but you still have to be on the internet in order to run those programs. So you can't really isolate unless you're willing to use like GIMP or something else. So they're tying you to the internet, whether you like it or not.
Right. I had a question for Anna Rita, but she just answered why she doesn't want to use Google. Now I know why, because of collecting data. Okay, Anna Rita, here's the thing. You will not use Google because of collecting data mining. Sweetheart, the web is one big data mining machine. The entire web, all over the world, collects your data, in my opinion. No matter what you do or try to be private, you know what I mean? It's wrong. I 100%, it's absolutely wrong. Okay, well, who's going to call the sheriff? How are you going to put the web in jail? I mean, I'm being a little silly here, but I
know that Google sends out like little bots that check, because when I was doing pen testing, they had me set up my own web server here, and it monitored like the hits that you get, and I kept getting a hit from this weird IP address. I ran the track. It was a Google bot.
Right, because when you run a business, that actually works in your favor, because that's how the Google search rankings work. It's from the Google bot.
Okay. I think for the average web user, I mean, whatever. Chromebook, Linux, Windows, Mac, I think I would be more concerned with being secure, as in avoiding ransomware, because that could be a major pain if you have no backups. Stuff like I would be more concerned with that, where you have more control, in my opinion. Okay. Ideally, you want the best. You want a marriage of both privacy and security. But realistically, in today's world, I think you have a better shot of controlling your security versus controlling your privacy, if that makes any sense. I don't
get in the car either.
Wrong, but that's the way it is. Yeah.
Well, hey, if you're not on Gentoo, you're not in complete control of anything.
Gentoo is 100% private because you'll never get on the web to figure it out how to get on the web in the first place.
Sergey's ears are burning.
I couldn't.
But you know something, the point I just made, Carm, about the joke.
I felt a disturbance in the force the second I said that.
But even in your car, with the vehicles being monitored and listening and all that stuff, those are run by Linux. But they're typically done primarily for monitoring the car for its operation, that kind of thing. Although you look up in YouTube, you'll see there were hacks that had happened with it. And I do think that even that is being used now, the satellite part of it. As an example, Illinois is talking about trying to charge people per mile. And the only way they're going to do that is track it through the satellite in the vehicles. So there's, even with Linux-based, operating of a piece of technology, which is your vehicle, you still can't escape it.
Is Illinois really talking about that now?
Yeah, they're talking about a lot of crazy stuff, trust me. As you know.
It's funny because I live out west, but I still hold my Illinois status because that's basically my home forever. But I'm not in touch with all the BS.
Well, they want to charge people when it rains. Seriously?
Yeah.
For sewer charge. I mean, there's a whole list of stuff they come up with crazy. But
the tollway is what loses me. The tollway loses my attention.
But the technology that they're using in the vehicles is what they're going to use to track you, to be able to tax you, fine you, whatever you want to call it.
Who knew that when the Beach Boys wrote that song, Surfing USA would have a whole different meaning 40, 50 years later?
Oh, yeah.
Surfing USA, yeah. Surfing the Web USA. Hello, Skybear. The song called Somebody's Watching Me. I remember that one. That was off of Miami Vice soundtrack. Yeah. Anarita says, when I go in the shower, I make sure the curtains close. Okay. That's a good idea, probably. You do not have to be paranoid, Anarita. That's true. Look, you should do everything you can to be private, but I think you have better luck being secure, more secure than privacy in today's world, in my opinion. But obviously, you want to do everything you can to be private. Absolutely.
Can you tell Steve that, because apparently he leaves these open?
Open.
I got a quick question. I'd like to poll everyone. What's your biggest priority as far as a computer or a distribution? Security or safe? Security, efficiency, blah blah blah. Mine is efficiency. I don't care as much about security or any threats.
My number one thing, it has to be stable.
That's
because if it ain't stable, it ain't gonna work, and you won't use it. Now, that's definitely private if you can't use it. No, but it has to be stable first, and that's a good word. Efficiency. These Chromebooks are very efficient. That's a very good word. Efficient. Yeah.
Now, the other thing too is,
but I think stability. Yeah.
If people are going to put Linux on a machine, and I've been finding this out even with the newer hardware, the little workstation in the back, I did a BIOS update. It was several versions behind. I kept having, it didn't matter what distro I put on it, it was starting to have crash issues. And knock on wood, ever since I did the BIOS update, it's been fine, because they actually had a specific BIOS update for my processor, the Kaby Lake processor that was in there. And then this machine, I've still got Mint on it, and the other day I could go a couple weeks and it wouldn't crash, and then it was crashing 2-3 times in a day. And I did a BIOS update on this last night, and I'm going to admit I feel like it's actually helped even with performance. And I have an AMD 1600 in here, the Ryzen 5 1600. So the other thing is you have to pay attention to the hardware with the distros as well, especially when you're getting into newer hardware, because they do require some of this. Matter of fact, the motherboard I had said may require a BIOS update, but a lot of them, the theory or thought was you don't mess with the BIOS as long as it's running fine. That's true to a point. The reality of it is if you're starting to, do newer software, or you're doing newer distros as they start coming along based on the newer hardware, that's where the BIOS, even if it's running okay, you may need to look in and see if it's time to flash it. But you have to be really, really careful with it when you're doing it too. So.
Zorin Ultimate is very good, Stephen. It's probably the best implementation of GNOME I've seen, especially for newbies. They have just a few extensions installed. They work. There's no bugs. I think it makes it easier for Windows users. Yeah. So Zorin has really done a good job. They've been around now 10 years. They're celebrating 10-year anniversary this year. That sells a lot for a Linux entity, because a lot of them, well, some of them don't last. They kind of like fade away, such as Intergos and others. But Zorin has done a very good job in general. I've always liked them since I first tried them back in 2011, 2012. But definitely check out Zorin. Is a really nice looking desktop. The only thing is it's still somewhat resource hungry, but that's a good GNOME desktop. Other than that, if you have at least 4 gigs of RAM, you should be fine with Zorin based off the GNOME desktop. So the answer is yes, I do like it.
Well, Tom do a thing the other day about Zorin, and it's, I don't know if he was kind of calling it their version of telemetry, but I guess they got some stuff in there.
Okay.
That talks back to Zorin.
The other thing I don't like about Zorin, which I just commented to Stephen Anderson, is I am getting a little bit concerned and a little bit frustrated with the fact that they're charging what they're charging. The idea is if you want to support them, that's one thing. The theory is okay, you put it on a flash drive, you sell somebody the flash drive, and you send it to them. $15 is, to me, an adequate amount to support them, because you could buy bulk flash drives for a couple of bucks, some really good ones if you buy them in bulk, and then you put it on there and be done with it. And that, to me, is a decent amount of money to make. And if somebody wants to support the project from there, fine. But you're getting up now. They're pushing. They went from 10, 15. Now they're up to $40. I mean, it's getting to the point where you're paying for like Windows, and that to me is getting to be a kick in the teeth with Linux.
That's debatable. I personally don't have a problem with it, because they've lasted this long, and people need to be paid. The team needs to be paid. The resources, again, I call it grease. Money is grease for the wheels. Keep the machine running. At one point, is it too much? There's a point there, Joe. But right now, for what they're doing, and it's a terrific.
Well, I get that, but they're going against what the whole system is about. The idea is it's supposed to be free. I get it. They need to be supported. I get that. But to sit there and start charging and getting up there to what, the price of a Windows.
There's a free one. You can download the core, download the extra stuff if you want. So they do make a free one. That's why they're probably, because they offer the Zorin Core. I think it's called Core. Yeah.
But I think they're pushing the envelope on what the Linux, what the founding fathers stood for, because if they get much higher than this, they may find out they're going to have a problem. That's my point. The idea is if you want to support a project and donate to them, you can always donate. You can sit there and buy it for $15 and donate $20 or $30 or $50.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Go do it that way. But now that you're charging for it and not giving the option, you're not supposed to be charging for it. The idea was, you want to charge for the media, put it on the media. That's fine, but this is actually they're pushing the edge, past the edge, as far as I'm concerned with what they're doing. I'm not begrudging that they should get paid. People should get paid for their work. But again,
basically, it's a loaded system, right? They're just throwing a bunch of software on there that you may or may not want.
You can take Core and make it Ultimate if you know what you're doing. For the newbies who don't, that's an option. Look, if there are newbies out there, you don't have to buy the Zorin Ultimate. You can just buy the Core. Download the Core, hoping it works, and throw them a few bucks, like Joe says. But if you don't want to mess with installing the extra stuff, they've done the work for you.
Now,
how much is their labor worth?
With SUSE and Red Hat, when you pay them, you get a lot of support with those systems. My question for Zoran is, when you pay the $40, do you get any support or guarantees or anything that you would get from like SUSE?
It shouldn't matter though. Ben, it shouldn't matter because the idea is Linux is supposed to be free. You're not supposed to be charging for it, plain and simple. You want to put in a piece of media, that's one thing, and they said, okay, we'll allow that to a point. But these guys are pushing the envelope. I'm sorry,
as Jill just said in the room, Zoran has just partnered with UK Star Lab laptops, and
they got to make
Skyper
Zoran
kind of brings it up. Is it possible they're providing?
Yeah,
I guess I don't mind them having a reminder on the website that if you can, then please donate. But I suppose what could be easily fixed with what you're saying, Joe, with the amount would be to have just a little simple drop-down box where you could have $10, $20, $30, $40, and then someone could just choose how much they want to donate.
Yeah.
Hello, Mitchell Valentino. Welcome to the stream. Stephen Anderson, welcome. Yeah, this is something that certainly is, like proper. Well, that's debatable, and I understand, but because they already offer a free version, that's why I don't have a problem. Now, if it was only paid, yeah, I could see where that would be a problem. But they have a Zoran core that's free.
Well, that's your choice. It's still circumventing the system. Okay, we're going to offer a couple to say we got free, and then we're going to turn around and charge you for it. You still should. I don't know. We can have this debate all night, but I just think it's wrong because the problem is that's going to start the ball rolling if everybody else start doing. Next thing you know, Linux is going to be, they're going to try to become paid this, and that
maybe totally they had to maybe it's a matter of survival. I don't know. Maybe they had to stay in business. I don't know.
Well, from what I understand with SUSE and Red Hat, well, you can get everything on those distros through CentOS, Fedora, and OpenSUSE, all the software. When you pay Red Hat and Fedora, what all you're getting really is support and guaranteed. Now, my question for Zoran is, what's coming with that $40 that you're paying for this? Is it support? Is it just you're going to install extra software? What's going on behind the scenes that I can't get on the core?
A few whistles and bells, yeah.
Hello, Kenny. Welcome. He would rather keep using Peppermint 10. Hey, this is not Steven's stream, okay? This is mine. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. This is not Steve Oster. Papa Pep here. Welcome. I'm just kidding. Welcome, Kenny. Welcome, everybody who came in late, by the way, for that matter. This stream, by the way, is made possible, speaking of supporters, by these supporters out there, so thank you. I know there's other people who wanted to join in on the stream. Hangouts only holds a total of 10 people, so this is a supporter stream. I'll do another one, I think, Sunday at 1 o'clock. That will be an open chat if you want to join me then, but this one's for the supporters. I try to do as many as I can. So, that's why I'm not sending out extra invitations. So those of you who support the channel, check your emails. We got room for 3 more on the channel, 3 more. So if you're a supporter, check your email. You were sent an email. But I'll do another one Sunday. That'll be an open chat, fitting up to 10 people. And we talked about this off camera about a replacement for Hangouts, possibly Zoom. Zoom has proven itself. That is also paid. I have no problem with that. Or using Zoom. The free version is 40 minutes. If I could find a sponsor, I would be happy to switch from Hangouts to Zoom. Because I think you can have... How many people can you have on Zoom? I lost
track. It's
unlimited, yeah.
Well, it's at least, I think, up to 100.
Oh, well, that would
be version.
Yeah, wow. But it does pay.
Like 24-hour. You can have a 24-hour stream.
Okay.
The problem is, we found out, is when you get past 25, then it creates a second page, and you don't get everybody on the camera. Now, Steve, I did try Jitsi with kind of a hangout with some friends, and it seemed to work. I loved it. It's a lot like Hangouts here. It worked really well. Okay. The downside that we seem to be finding is that the bandwidth being shared was kind of starting to affect it a little bit, just with 3 or 4 of us in there.
Okay.
Otherwise, I don't know how it would be for you, Carmen, as a stream, but Steve would know about that.
Yeah.
I would say with something like Zoom, if you have more than 20, 25 people, that's going to be somewhat of a mess to try to keep everybody organized, right? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the more the merrier, obviously. I've never done more than 10, obviously, on Hangouts.
Yeah, you have to break out the caddy if someone misbehaves.
Yeah, I know. Hey, look, Abrazzi, I'm gonna send you to an address. Okay, no, but
are we a little
Chase
too,
Thomas.
Are we a little too old and sophisticated for Twitch?
No.
What do you mean, man?
Twitch is more for gaming.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
finding
yeah.
there's a lot of odd niche uses for Twitch. It seems now, so it's not just gamers. I think it seems, but I could be talking out of my rear.
Let's ask Ansem that question. Ansem, you use you've used Linux for 25 years. You were saying,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So, what do you think about Zorin charging 40 and offering a free version on top of that? How do you feel about it?
Okay, a couple of years ago, I did buy their Ultimate, and
Okay.
I think you do get free email support. They will work with you through email to that. And no, I don't have a problem with developers or distro makers charging. They got to make a living. You can't expect it free. Mm-hmm. It costs money for servers.
Yeah,
their work. So I kind of lean towards, I don't have a problem donating money to a distro, or if they want to charge $1 for you to download it, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
people got to eat. I mean,
you said the magic word though. You said donate, and that's the difference. When you're charging or and donating are two different things. And I don't want to sound like I'm just being this big jerk and raining on the parade here, but again, if you go back to where this all started from in the premise, it's not supposed to be a paid-for system. It doesn't matter. People work on it. They're supposed to be volunteering and in the hopes of being supported by people who want to donate. So that's where it's that line on whether you're going to tip over it. That's all.
Okay. This is if I was running Zorin, and I'm not. If I could get enough sponsors where I could pay everybody, I would say it's going to be free across the board, assuming there was enough sponsors coming in, and you have to have a disclaimer, sponsored by, whatever, Coca-Cola, Black & Decker. Those are companies I use. That's why I'm saying that. If they were getting enough money from sponsors. If they're not, say they went that route, and for whatever reason it's not working, and to survive, to maintain their level of quality, which I believe they've had, maybe this is the only reason that they're charging. I don't know. I'm just speculating. Yeah. I don't have a problem with that. Or maybe they tried the donation route and maybe it wasn't enough. I don't know. But I think you have to disclose why. And like Ansem said, there's support if you pay. But you're right, Joe. Sometimes you reach a threshold where it's too much or too high. And I suppose that's up to the consumer, But if I was running Zorin and if we had enough sponsorship money, I wouldn't charge a dime because you don't need it, right? It's a trade-off, for open source, free versus the charge and this and that. All I know is that they make a good product.
Fall asleep. I think I'm gonna hop off here. I'm starting to fall asleep. So,
all right, Ben.
I'll stick around for as long as I can. But I highly doubt anybody wants to watch me doze off in my chair here. So,
okay. Yeah.
Riot wore you out, man.
Yeah.
How we going?
Plus, that $40 Zorin gives you better sleeping patterns. No, just kidding.
Yeah, bores you. Yeah.
The $40 high it gives you. Zorin is a great. It's like the white noise. That puts you to sleep. Zorin. I'm just kidding, Zorin. I'm just kidding. But
I don't know. It's a tough one. I'm on the fence on it. I agree. I see both sides of it. You need to make money. It needs to be free. But how many distros really stand out to where they can say they can charge for their product? As far as I know,
there's a lot of them though.
Yeah, well, if you turn it around and say,
okay, you're going special. Okay, I agree on the special use cases. Peppermint is a niche, and they feel great with their ice applications. They're a perfect distro for that. I'm running Salient OS for gaming. That distro, he does all the hard work. I didn't have to do anything. I think he should be asking for donations. Silent Robot, he's filling the niche. But you got like your OpenSUSE, your Ubuntu's, all of them. They're not really differentiating each other than a DE.
Well, that's the thing. There are over, if you count all the offshoots and all the forks. That's why I joke. Everything in Linux gets forked up after a while. there are probably 600 different distros. Last time I checked, give or take. And out of the 600, I think there's maybe a handful that are really good. And if only a handful are charging out of 600, it's a trade-off. I totally agree. Now Mitchell says from GNU.org, many people believe that the spirit of the GNU project is that you should not charge money for distributing copies of software. You should charge as little as possible, just enough to cover the cost. This is a misunderstanding. Okay.
That's what I said. Media. You're supposed to be able to charge just for to put it on the media and the cost of the media.
But then he says, we encourage people who redistribute free software to charge as much as they wish or can. Again, it's up to the consumer to decide.
That's not true. That's a wrong statement. I'm sorry. I'll differ with that.
I haven't officially read. I'm just reading, but
yeah. And see, I guess where my worry is, okay, this is one developer, one distribution. If it starts getting viral or it goes down the road, sooner or later it becomes a license, and next thing you know, you're winding up back with Windows again.
Well, I hope that's not the case, obviously.
I just posted a link from Zoran why they do an ultimate and why they charge.
Okay. If we have any other Chromebooks users out there, please let me know. I am live streaming this from a Chromebook. That's why the camera's not too good here, but it is stable. So any other Chromebook users out there, we have Steve uses Chrome OS and Ansem uses Chromebook. Anybody else out there, please feel free to share your thoughts. Richard Stallman says that free, not as free beer. Stallman could use a few beers sometimes. He's just way out. I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyways, Zor, for what it's worth, I think you're doing a great job. Just ignore Joe. Those Chicago guys are
you know what it is? He's not getting his cut. He's not getting his Chicago cut.
Maybe I should go pull out the old black Lincoln, huh?
He's not respecting the Chicago family. He's not getting his percentage. Okay. But see, this is the nice thing about the Linux community. We can have an open debate, and hopefully, we can learn something out of this. But that's the nice thing about Linux, is that you have choices. So, but it's all good, Joe. It's all good. No,
as long as we don't have like Chicago family and a New York family thing going on here.
R3 Pence says you have an RK3399 board that are in Chromebooks. Oh, you got the okay. Well, I guess that counts. Welcome, R3 Pence. But yeah, if there are any other Chromebook users, I'll stay on a little bit longer. It's 10:30. So who's typing? It's driving me nuts. It's loud.
Probably me.
Jeez, these freaking Windows users.
Frostbite is asking the question. He said, can you install Distro as an OEM install on PCs and sell it as an OEM Linux install? Absolutely. They're, like Peppermint, a lot of the distros, Mint, they have the option to install as an OEM. The one thing about that, though, that I would say that depending on what you're doing with the device you're putting on, that kind of thing, if you're building it yourself, that's one thing. But if you're going to try to put it on a different brand, you're going to need to get permission. And you may actually even have to get permission from the distro creators, too, particularly Ubuntu. You might have to be an approved provider, but there isn't. They do have OEM options, and I know specifically Peppermint, Mint, and Ubuntu's, and those they do have that.
Okay. Well, Mitchell says that's verbatim from the GNU.org. Okay, so maybe something has changed. I don't know. All I know is I like Zorin. It's one of my top 10 for Windows users to try. But look. All the Windows users out there, if you want to guarantee that a Linux anything is going to work, just buy a Chromebook at this point. They're inexpensive, they work, they stay out of your way, and then go from there. Then if you really like what you see, get a separate machine or install a virtual machine in your Windows and try downloading a Linux distro and maybe go from there. Because if you just download a random distro, even a good one like Pep or Ubuntu, there's no guarantee it's going to work. And you may wind up saying that Linux sucks, and that's not going to be fair. Get a Chromebook. They're inexpensive based off of Linux, and then you'll see the power of Linux. That's my thought.
Yeah.
It's too easy for a Windows user or a Mac user, for that matter, that's been so used to everything working out of the box, and there's nothing wrong with that, to try random Linux, even a Go one. They install it, and then the graphics don't work, or the games don't work, or they have to go into terminal. So what happens? Oh, honey, Linux sucks. Well, it's not entirely accurate.
That wasn't
Chrome?
that wasn't I've tried 2 or 3 now, and my main thing was that I can't integrate this yet into my life. So, but I mean, the bugs and all that aren't necessarily a big problem, and yeah, it's a learning curve. But if it doesn't have to be for everyone. But for me, it's like, how do I integrate this and everything I use? How do I leave behind this and integrate this into my life fully?
You know what?
CJ, you're Italian, but you talk with your hands too.
Yeah.
You know what I say about that? Change. It's like when I first started, I made up my mind to do this as a daily driver, and it felt awkward and out of place a little bit, because I'm thinking, can I really just stay away from the temptation to want to go back? Now, when I get on that machine for Windows, I'm familiar with it, but the comfort level has reversed. I don't care to be on there.
I don't either, basically for one reason. Yeah, the telemetry, I don't like it. It feels bloated. But the number one reason I really don't like to use Windows is I don't know how freaking long the updates are going to take. There's no meter that tells me. It says, please wait. Now there is a percentage, but like when you reboot, right? That tells you. But for the total updates, I don't know.
But I told you the answer.
And it can be a long time.
It could be days.
But I told you the answer. Use it offline. Just if you don't have online tasks to do, use Linux for the online.
You could.
Joe, you just gave me an idea.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't even think about
that. The only, like I said, the unfortunate part of that though is if you are an Adobe user and you have to have Adobe, you're stuck with online, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
The cloud stuff. But if you don't have that cloud type applications, and I'll tell you another thing. My wife, her machine, she's got a Windows 7 machine at the office, got a Windows 10 laptop sitting here that she hasn't touched yet. She still uses her old Windows 7 one. But I've been beating on her to try to get, not physically, beating on her to try to get, push and say, hey, I want to get you on Linux. I want to get you to try to use this, try to get you used to it. And because I think that once she does, because I've tested all of her stuff on there, all of her real estate stuff is online, all of it's on cloud. And the funny thing is even the program they use for their MLS, it'll talk about how it's not compatible with certain Windows versions or whatever. And I've run Linux on there and it's perfectly fine. So if you can do even your online or cloud stuff that doesn't require the onboard, files or initial software to light, like Adobe still has to have files installed even to run the cloud stuff right now, from what I understand, because I haven't run it in a long time. Then you're golden. You can do whatever you want with it. You can still do some of that stuff if you're running a cloud-based through Linux. And then if there's certain programs that you have that still run natively on Windows, like I do with QuickBooks, I just haven't updated it. And they haven't gone to a complete cloud version yet. But if I make the migration over to GNUcast, it's a moot point. But at least this way I can still run it offline, not worry about it updating. I've got the update shut off. If I have to go grab a quick file on there, I log in. It's specifically to a secure network for something, which is very rare. I want to pull a file down maybe for a report, boom, and then I shut it right off again. I'm not even on 2 minutes. So
Are you able to use a license, an old physical license for a physical program for the cloud, to use the cloud? What I'm asking?
No, I'm not quite clear on what you're saying.
Meaning, if you've already bought an Adobe application,
no.
Can you use the online version? Are you free to use the online version later, or as you wish? Or
it depends on, I think, what your version would be. If you're talking something that, like they were saying earlier, a few generations old, they're going to want you to do their subscription, which means you're still going to have to do like my son uses Lightroom or whatever, or Lightworks or what, I don't remember what is it, Lightroom that they have, Adobe or whatever,
Yeah.
or After Effects or something like that. And I know he says he still has to install something on his system initially to be able to pull the files in. And what I don't like on that is that they have to see the login. It has to talk to each other. It kind of reminds me of my soft plan. That software required a USB key in order to run. And if your internet's down, you're stuck. You can't run it. You can't do anything with it. Now, I don't know if that's exactly what Adobe's like too, where, you have to have that internet connection to run it, because that's the other side that's getting to be a problem with cloud stuff. If they want to see that sync up, you potentially could wind up stuck in, not being able to do your workflow, because you don't have that internet connection. So, but I answered your question. Sorry.
I have a question for Ansem. Yeah, have you had a Pixel Book, or have you thought about getting one?
Yeah, actually, I'm in the process of saving for one.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard all positive reviews on that thing, like almost 100% positive for what they do for the price. They're a little pricier, but not that bad.
It's probably more than what I need. But
yeah,
I want one to try it.
Yeah, it's for what I've seen reviews on YouTube, and they look nice. I guess they have a softer touchpad, for your like a palm on the side, and of course it's 360 screen. It's a 2-in-1, and it does, obviously it's going to be faster. But they said it feels like a quality higher end product, like as if you're buying a MacBook.
I think that's more for creators, the Pixel Book. From what I've read, it's more for the creators.
Yeah. Welcome, Switch. Welcome, latecomers, Q1 Fiend, and Silly Baboy. Hey, Babu, Silly Baboy. Welcome.
I'm quite impressed. I'm quite impressed how your Chromebook's holding up. It's fairly low spec, but it's doing pretty well on stream.
Yeah, look up the Acer Chromebook 15. So
you said 2 gigs of RAM.
Anyway, welcome, latecomers. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it's. I mean, I can tell here it's struggle. It's a little bit.
Yeah.
Like when I type, there's like a delay.
I think this Dell Inspiron was my last 2 gigs device with 2 gigs of RAM.
Really? Okay.
This is 2009.
Okay.
I think it's running XP. I rarely turn this on. But
that'd be a perfect Linux machine.
Do you think so? Because actually, this one I would do that with, and I would have to.
Peppermint would be your best bet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that may happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think that may actually happen.
Well, I believe there's a Zorin Lite version that has XFCE in it that might work.
Peppermint's the better choice.
Yeah, I don't often think of this. I always think of putting Linux on one of my ThinkPads, but I don't think about putting it on this. And maybe you got a point there. Yeah. A lightweight Linux.
Try the Peppermint. Try Lubuntu if it's a 64-bit. I believe Lubuntu now is only 64-bit. That's Lubuntu with an L, not Ubuntu.
Well, going into the new editions, I think 1804 still has 32.
Okay. Timo, check your email if you want to join us. There's room for you.
Q4 OS might be really good because DT did a review on that the other day.
Yes,
that looked really nice.
I tried that. Thing's fast. That thing flies. Yeah. I don't know if that's for newbies though. Q4 OS, if I recall.
I don't remember.
I know it was fast, but I don't think the user interface was quite as user friendly. I know it's been a while, but Tim, if you want to join us, then we got room here. Like I said, I'll do another stream, like an open chat, probably Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. So.
Carmine, just pretend you're streaming from a hotel room and you'll be fine.
So I'll talk. Okay, thank you for coming here. It's great to have everybody here. I'll be like sputtering, like yeah. I'll be like those kung fu movies. Hey, welcome here. It's great to have you.
And then just play the audio sync.
Oh, those movies, they bring back memories as a teenager. I'm going to kick your butt. Oh man!
What was that? Police Academy?
Yeah.
There was a guy on there who did sound effects. I met him. His name is Michael Winslow. I met him.
He's hilarious.
I met him 20 years ago. Yeah.
You were doing the Eddie Murphy impression, I believe.
I had an internship when I was in college 20 years ago, and we were at a pre-production meeting, and I was taking notes, and he would talk serious. Okay, so I think the show should be on, and then he would go into his impressions. He was freaking. I got it on a micro tape. I mean, like a cassette tape here somewhere. He's freaking hilarious. I'll never forget. He just bam. He was like the Black Robin Williams, you know. But it's funny that we bring that up all these years later. I don't know if he's still doing movies, but God bless him. What a talent. You know, Michael Winslow's his name. He did the sound effects in the Police Academy. Yeah.
Yeah. Police Academy.
Oh wow. Anyway. Pusang, hello. Love Ubuntu, but so hard to samba. What, you can't samba? Oh, different samba. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, again, if we have any newbies here to Linux or a newbie to Chromebooks, that's what I'm here for. Jump on the wall. Come on in. The water's fine. I'll stay. What time is it?
Here it's not.
I can vouch for that to the newbies. I can vouch for that. They're safe. I'm a newbie. They're safe.
Mm-hmm. See, the California guy is a newbie. I don't know who he is. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. See, if a California guy could get Linux, it's got to be easy.
Surf's up, dude. Ubuntu surf's up, dude. You know, yeah, right. Yes, I'm going to read it tonight. Is a new episode of Ancient Aliens. I will catch it on demand on Xfinity. Thank you for reminding me. I will watch it. And there's another one called Unidentified. That's right after Ancient Aliens. Yeah.
What was that?
Check it out. Let's see here. Cat Gamer, you got a new mouse pad today. It has a rest for your wrist. Okay. I get it. Cool. Nice. Damn Small Linux deprecated. That was fast, but not for newbies. Tiny Core is light too, but not for newbies. Yeah. Yeah. Now there are good choices today. Not a lot, but more good choices today for beginners. So don't be afraid to try them out if you don't want to buy a Chromebook. If you want to buy a Chromebook, check the links below.
And I will say too that even Mint right now, they have the CE, they've got the Mate, they got different menus, Cinnamon. They're actually running quite a bit lighter than what they used to too. But Peppermint, there's something about Peppermint. I love Ubuntu too, but I think Peppermint, I think the theming on Peppermint is a little bit more inviting to me right now than Ubuntu.
But Peppermint is hardly Ubuntu anymore. There's just LX sessions and appearance, and that's it. I mean, it's almost all XFCE.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I installed Peppermint, but I couldn't get the volume or the ThinkPad volume keys to come on the screen, on-screen display. You know, for the volume,
I could get that. Yeah,
it won't work.
No,
and it's that's why it's so, you know, for newbies, Linux can be so unpredictable. It's the little things that are so freaking annoying. You know, in the Chromebook, it has an on-screen display for volume, brightness. It just works. With Linux, you just don't know.
But that's the distribution, I think. Because I said the same thing when Mark was in when we were doing a Biddle show. I said it'd be nice if that was there. But if you actually look, when you look up at the volume control up in the taskbar, because I actually put mine up on top, you can see it there. But I think what it is when you get used to running Linux distributions, most of them have that pop up when you're adjusting the volume so you can see it, which is kind of nice. But you kind of you get spoiled with it. But it is there if you look up at the volume icon up in the top. But that's one of those things that if it bothers you, it might be enough to make you not use it.
Yeah. It does. In fact, I downloaded the newest Linux Mint because, like you said, it's supposed to be faster, and it's gone. It worked in the previous one. Again, it's the little things that just, you know, and you can't, you know, for a newbie, that would be a deal breaker, maybe. I don't know. So, but just be aware that if you are new to this, it may not work exactly the way you want it. It doesn't mean it's no good. Anyway, that's the way Linux is. Fat Dog 64. Man, I'm getting hungry already. I'm thinking of hot dogs. Yeah. mustard and onions and all that.
You're close enough to Chicago to get good hot dogs, I'm sure.
Yeah. We don't.
Oh,
have
but
places like
Joe's
that here
in brat country, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets them brats.
Cat Gamer says, "I like big buttons, and I cannot lie."
That's what Colin said earlier.
That's a good one. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah. Anyone using NFS for LAN shares easier than SMB? I do not use that. No. No. There's another pic. There's a next generation Pixel book coming up. I think it's called Atlas. I think if I read that somewhere, or it's codename Atlas.
What is the Pixel Book's real claim to fame, though? I don't know that much about it, so I'm going to plead a little ignorance here because I don't follow.
From what I read, it's their top of the line. It's super fast. It has a 360 screen, like it's a 2-in-1. It's a touchscreen tablet. It has, from what I understand, it's your palm rest. I guess it has better quality construction, more like a MacBook, Joe. From what I understand, a beautiful screen, and it's someone on the web, more than one person called it flawless for what it did in terms of quality, construction, feel, performance. I guess the Pixel Book is their MacBook Pro, I think, for Google, is their version of it. Okay. From what I understand, and I think it maxes out about $1,300, give or take. But it's their top of the line, yeah. And that's the one I believe will have the capability to dual boot Windows, supposedly.
So basically, you've got MacBook Pro quality without the MacBook Pro pricing.
Exactly. The refurbished ones are starting at $600 at one point. Yes.
Kind of, but for a Chromebook, they are kind of expensive. I mean,
well, because people are so used to the lower end ones, and that's fine. But considering what that one does, I think it's fairly priced if that's what you're looking for. Yeah. Colin, your internet is rubbish lately. What happened? Is it the cold weather in Australia slowing you down? Vince, old pal, buddy.
Oh no, we have this thing called the NBN, which is supposed to be the National Broadband Network, which the government is building out. It's supposed to be a fiber network, but the government, as they always do, they cheaped out. So it's no good.
Okay, all right, understood.
And he got quality because he's incarcerated, he said.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Government.
That's right.
Well, Vince is on one side of the country, so he's tugging on his cord, and then he's on the other side going, "Get it back."
I'm on the government payroll at the moment.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man, let me see if I can get one more person in here. Get switched to links, but this thing crawls when I'll open up another window. Let me try switch. I hit compose on Gmail, and I have to wait for paint to dry.
Vince looks like he's a team member in Ocean's 11, and he's stuck in this little.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't mind that.
Right. Yeah.
That's a cool movie.
Yeah.
His wife's like, Vince, what are you doing in the garage?
Yeah.
Clank, clank.
Vince,
Working, honey.
Vince, it gets colder in Ohio. You do what you got to do to stay warm, and forget with these guys. Yeah, right.
Too much apple
That's
juice,
my advice.
Steve.
Tom, I'm trying, but it's slow. Let me try it again. It's crawling. It's struggling. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's my friend's a CD out of Pittsburgh, so I ain't got to worry about copyright.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Jimmy Z, that's what he goes by his name.
Do you want me to send it?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, yeah. Yeah, go ahead for it. it to him. Yeah, yeah. This is just taking too long. Yeah. So. Yeah, those 2 gigs are like, But anyway, but it works. It's stable. That's my number. It's got to be stable. Number one's got. If it's not stable, then I don't care about anything else. But it's stable. So, Google, you did good on this. Now the rest, privacy.
Joe, you probably have Micro Center by you, or do you use Fry's? What do you use?
No, we don't have. The closest one is in Chicago. I think it was Micro Center. No, I don't have. Best Buy is over here, and I won't necessarily buy anything from them. So. What
about Fry's?
No, they're not here either. I haven't checked Madison, which is 35 miles away, or Rockford in the other direction. So I don't know if they have them. But.
So Colin says maybe the cold weather is shrinking your cables. You should go see a doctor. No, just kidding.
It was almost 90 here today. It's going to be 90s over the weekend.
Yeah, same thing here. Yeah, I'm hoping it's sunny because I'm going swimming tomorrow. I got a call from one of my relatives. The pool is open. The private pool is open. I said, yeah, I'm going tomorrow. Doesn't rain.
We've been getting a lot of rain. We've had torrential rains here like crazy the last.
It's been outrageous, man. She's worst. It's been bad, Joe. It's been bad. I've had to cut the grass in pieces, days, But anyway, today I finished it. It worked up a good sweat. It's done until next week, unless it rains again. Then the following week after that, and then I have to cut down the Amazon National Forest. But
yeah, right.
Anyway. Again, anybody new watching, say hello.
Hey, Carmine, did you see the post that Anselm put in the Hangouts chat?
No.
It's
what's it for?
Here, I'll post it in regular chat. You open up a tab and it actually gives you the system information.
Okay.
Like mine's using almost 4 gigs of memory right now.
Yeah. I'm scared to open everything else because it's really struggles.
Oh no, I'm sorry. 1.76 gigs of memory.
Okay. Yeah, this
but
one
it's
is
using. Holy
out.
cow! It's using 5.45 gigs of swap.
Wow.
Oh, whoa, that is a lot.
Did you guys see what Anna Rita wrote?
Shrinking cables does not do that to right guys. Well, we're almost into the adult section of the show. It's almost 11.
I don't know. Quint's in the room, so we have to behave.
Yeah, we have to.
This is interesting.
Quint, I would get you on, but when I go to Gmail, the machine struggles on my Chromebook. It just freezes, or it's sputtering. So, if anybody else has Quint's email here, forward them the invite.
Well, when Switch gets on, I think he has.
Okay, all right, yeah,
I emailed you, Switch.
Yeah.
You said that you're connected to a larger. Is it a TV or something too?
Yeah, it's a TV monitor. It has 3 HDMI input. Now, maybe if I got off the big screen, just went to this,
I was wondering.
I was just thinking. Yeah, maybe that would suck out less resources. I just did it for my eyes versus staring at this.
Yeah.
Tom has Switch. If you get the email, forward it to Quint's fine. We can 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we could fit a few more people in here.
It'd be interesting if you just disconnected briefly just to see if it makes a difference, though.
Probably will, but I'm kind of scared, so I won't do it.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to be like frozen.
I got it.
Anyway.
It took a while to get from Australia. It was
Yeah.
Yeah, internet's slow, but not that slow.
Tom, if you would forward the invite to Quint, he wants to jump on since my system is struggling here on the big screen.
We've now got this chain email going.
All right.
Quint, okay, but this one's approved. This one's approved. Yeah.
I'm gonna grab some headphones here. Are we getting feedback? Do I need headphones?
No, you're fine. At least on my end here.
Okay. If I start echoing, let me know.
Okay. All right, everybody joining late. Again, this is a test number 2 of my Chromebook, the Acer 15. So just to let everybody know why my picture looks like it's pixelated from 1999. you know. But yeah, considering the slow spec machine, it's solid. So they work. So Windows users who say Linux sucks, try
Well, I mean, also it's impressive how well it's working with such low specs.
Yeah,
it's stable. Right.
Yeah,
it's not fast, but it was not meant to be that fast. Yeah, no, it's.
Yeah. And yeah, it would actually run better if you were not plugged into the big monitor.
Yeah, we were just maybe Sunday when I do another one. I'm going to do one Sunday open chat for other people who want to come in. Maybe then I'll just do it on this little screen. I won't be on as long. So look for me Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, I don't go near computers during that time, so I will not see you.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to do. I got to do some chores and go swimming. I'm going to chill tomorrow. I might jump on Biddle tomorrow night. It's been a while. He's what, 9 o'clock or no, 8 o'clock on Saturdays?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the latest Distro challenge?
Open Mandriva.
Okay. Is that RPM based?
Next week.
Oh, okay.
Where's Brent?
Hi.
We've been missing you on Thursday, man.
I've been busy. We were coming home. We have to go. We have another house in Middle Georgia, and we're getting a pool built there, so we have to go back and forth a lot. And we were coming home from there when the stream was going on. So.
Oh yeah. Hey, no problem, man. No problem.
Okay, so do you guys want to hear about that smart electrical outlet that I saw the other day at Lowe's?
Hold on, let me get my frying pan first. Hold on. I got one of my biggest textbooks right here. Let's go. Let's hear it.
Okay, so let me do screen share here. Fine.
Hey guys, I'm getting called back inside, so I'll catch you guys a bit later.
All right, Vince.
Okay, Vince.
Thanks again, Carmine.
Take care, Vince.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll probably just continue to troll you in the chat.
Okay.
Okay, here it is. Let me get the screen share on.
Carmine, I believe Anna Rita was asking what you paid for the Chromebook.
These start at on Amazon $140 for a refurb.
Oh, I thought you said 400.
No. I mean, if you want to get a nicer one, a higher end one, that's probably what you're going to have to pay, like between 3 and 4. But these refurbished ones with these type of specs, they started about $140 last time I checked. Yeah.
That's right. You bought a refurbished one.
So this is what I.
Yeah. So does that go into a? Is that just like Ethernet you put on the side, or is it Wi-Fi?
It's just an electrical outlet that goes on the wall, and it just connects to Wi-Fi. Yeah, like let me see. I
just don't recognize the side ports. I mean, I do a lot of electrical stuff. I've never seen that type of port.
Why don't you put the link in the YouTube chat?
Yeah, here it is, right here. It's just I think it's just a traditional outlet. I think it just connects to Wi-Fi. Yeah, right here. Download the app from the Apple App Store or Google Play.
Yep.
And create an account. I don't even know why you even need an electrical outlet that's controlled by an app. Like, why do you need that? What's so special about that?
The only thing that I've seen them advertise for is like having more unpredictable on-offs if you're out of town, right? So like a timer, but you can get a timer to program weird times like that. You can say roughly on or off about this time, and then what it'll do is it'll kind of say, you know, turn on, like instead of like 7 o'clock, we all seen Home Alone, right? Where the guy maps out when everybody's automatic lights are turning on, right? So they make timers that you can jump back, and so they're not always exact. But
It would be nice if you could hack it and then turn it off the entire neighborhood's electrical off on and off.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this here. It's controllable through Alexa. So you could say, Alexa, turn on the lamp.
You could hack the entire neighborhood and then have it flicker in Morse code. This neighborhood sucks.
Yeah, you should just install this on your neighborhood box or whatever.
Oh, my neighbor sucks.
Alexa,
everybody's which neighbor?
Just install
we were selling Wi-Fi light bulbs.
Oh, jeez.
You could just install this on whatever your neighborhood's electrical box is and then say, Alexa, turn off the neighborhood's power.
Oh boy.
I don't know. It's just kind of weird. There's all sorts of stuff that just doesn't make any sense now.
Some of it I think they're just doing just to see if they can.
Like, you know about the Bose speakers, right? Like how I think I already told you guys about this. Let me turn the screen sharing off here. These little Bose speakers here. Every time you turn it on, it asks you to download an app to use it, but you don't have to use the app. It's just a Bluetooth speaker, but it's like to get connected, download the blah, blah, blah app. I don't even know what the app does. Like, why do you need an app to use a speaker?
Probably just sitting across the room and want to get up and too lazy to get up and want to control it, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
So the biggest Chromebook screen is what, 13 and a half, or they don't make one any bigger, right?
This one is 15 something, I think. 15.
Okay. Yeah, I got a 15.6.
Yeah, this one's fairly large. Yeah, this might be the largest. Yeah, I think the Pixelbook is slightly smaller, but it does a lot more. It's a lot faster, from what I understand. Yeah.
I haven't actually used a Chromebook before, but I have installed Chromium OS on some old PCs and stuff, and there isn't much you can do with it. I don't know if that's any different because the Chromebooks have the Google Play Store and the Chromium stuff doesn't. But from what I remember, there wasn't much I could do on it.
And Arita says Google Play has a poop app, so what's you? Yes, they actually do have a.
Wait.
Yeah, they do. It keeps log of your logs. Anyway, that's a joke from last year, if I recall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah, some of you might remember that. Smart toilets and logs. Yeah. Yeah. Whew. Anyway. Sam Raphael, you don't like the Alexa device. It comes in handy. I generally unplug it during the day, but it comes in handy at night. Set the alarm. Of course, now that I bought an Amazon tablet, built-in Alexa. I use that to set an alarm, play music, access my stuff. It's a matter of convenience. Of course, that raises another privacy issue. Understandable. Are they convenient? 100% convenient. I've actually, since I bought the tablet, I've actually started reading again. Imagine that. Actual downloadable books.
We got an Amazon tablet for free with something that we bought.
Yeah.
And they're actually, you can get them. It's kind of an unknown feature, but you can actually set it up where you don't have to sign in with an Amazon account. The solution is you don't connect to Wi-Fi during the setup. And that's what I did. We didn't sign in with the Amazon account, and that also gets rid of the ads.
Interesting. I mean, I don't mind. I shop on Amazon. It's not that of a big deal. I keep the Wi-Fi up because sometimes it gives me recommendations for books, and I've been able to download. I read James Bond novels because they're still writing them, and I downloaded 2 or 3 free sample books to James Bond over Wi-Fi. So I mean, I use it, so I don't mind.
I just use it as a normal Android tablet when I have used it. I believe I installed an app that lets you install your own launcher because they are Android based. They just have done a really good job covering up that fact. And you can install, I think I installed an F-Droid on mine and stuff like that. So I just turned it into an Android tablet pretty much.
Jill says Chromebooks are actually good for security. Yes. The first thing you did It is install crostini with some Parmesan and pepper, and install it with the Ubuntu. Yes. Does a crostini sounds like something you put on a spaghetti? Hey, Paulie, pass the crostinis, yo. No, but the RAM on the Chromebook, this one is 2. I think they start at 2 gigs for the Chromebooks. This one is 2 gigs. The processor is 1.6, something like that. So, and they go up from there, obviously.
Is that the one that you have?
This is Acer Chromebook 15. Just sleepy eyes, Vince. Steve, read that one.
Yeah.
Oh, Vince. Oh, now you get off screen, Vince.
It's a good one.
You become the naughty boy.
Yeah, really.
That's why he went.
Maybe that was his daughter.
He was getting a chill.
Can you sideload APK apps on the Chromebook? I did it on the tablet. I don't know if you can on a Chromebook.
I think you can. You have to like enable some sort of developer mode. Just look it up.
That's what because that's what I did on the tablet. On the Amazon tablet, the Google Play Store is not installed by default.
Yeah, what you can do is just go in there and install it, and then you can actually get the APK files from different APK mirrors, where I've done it before, which is actually a reputable source for APKs. There's not viruses or anything, and you can get all the required files off of that. But I don't use the Google Play Store, so I just installed F-Droid.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I'd be interested to know about Chromebooks too is how easy would it be? Like, let's say you want to upgrade the drive or that kind of thing. I wonder how easy they are to access. I
think you're pretty much locked out with these Chrome, from what I understand.
There is a way to sideload Linux on those. There's like a screw that you take out that enables like developer mode or something, and you can like sideload Linux.
Yep.
Yeah, no. As far as the hardware, these are soldered on the board, so what you see is what you get. As far as I know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And some, they're not made to be upgradable. Of course, you're not spending a lot of money either. So
no, they got some pretty pricey ones, about like $900 for one of them. So.
Oh yeah. Obviously, if you get the Pixel book, but it's going to be a higher end screen, and
small. Crazy.
That was loud.
Yeah.
What was that? Sounded like my carbonator.
I know. I thought I saw your cat go across the. No, but.
No, he's still laying there. He's like, I'm a lazy bum.
Tom, by the way, what carbonator do you have? Because I told you our soda stream broke when I tried to put iced tea in it. What do you use?
5-pound CO2 tank and a series of things that you buy at a winemaker shop. So you need a regulator valve for a 5-pound CO2 tank. Now, here's your advantage: your soda stream will get like 30 or so carbonated liters out of that. Is that about right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So I think that's about what it is. Mine will get about 1,000. So price is definitely worth it. So it does cost about $80 for a 5-pound CO2 tank on the front end, but every time you go to refill it, it's like 15.
Just make sure you wear a crash helmet, the goggles.
Yeah.
Have a first aid kit.
You need a dual regulator that allows you to specify the output range, because you want to only push out about 55 to 65 psi, so you can get that at a winemaker shop, and then just use some rubber hosing, and then you get a pop cap top, which will allow you to basically put a cap in there. I think there's actually, I've seen plans for one like this on Popular Mechanics.
I'll just buy my Coke, my Fizz. So, anyway.
Yeah, the one that I use, since it's a homebrewed system, you can actually make your stuff and then carbonate it. SodaStream, you can only carbonate water.
At least you aren't forced to use their sodas, is the good thing.
The what?
At least you aren't forced to use their mixes.
Yeah, you can use them if you want to, but
their mixes aren't very good from what I've heard. We typically just carbonate water in it.
Yeah, they're nasty. I hate those.
You can actually go buy like better ones, like the Monin syrups. Those are really good. And you can just use that with a carbonator or a soda stream or whatever. You may just end up buying another soda stream and just using different mixes.
This stream is sponsored by Coca-Cola. Good for Carm, good for cleaning his caddy bumper.
I should say this stream is not sponsored by Coca-Cola. It's not sponsored by Motorola. Hint. Not sponsored by Microsoft. Hint.
No, it is Toss because I've got my Microsoft keyboard too. I don't know if you can see it right there.
I see it. Yeah.
I actually the other day.
Not sponsored
it was
by
about a week ago.
What's up? Anyway.
Oh, here we go. Here, I found a list.
It was about a week ago. There's a Coca-Cola museum here, and you can we went there, and you can go there and like see the vault that the secret recipe is in or whatever. It's literally like they put you in this chamber thing, and the wall turns, and this vault comes over.
All right, Quinn, I put a link in there. This is Serious Eats. They actually just have an entire part list. So that's all the parts you need.
The other thing there's this tasting room there where you can actually go and taste different Coke products from around the world. And there's some really, really bad ones.
Well, most of them outside the United States, most places do not allow you to use high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah, there's some that are, those ones, there's some Italian ones. I think they consider them like palate cleansers that just taste awful.
All right, I'm probably going to wrap this up in about 10 minutes. So just to let everybody know. Again, I'll be on probably Sunday at 1 p.m. So I have tried vanilla Coke, Sleepy Eyes Vince, orange vanilla Coke. It's not bad.
I recently tried that.
Go ahead.
Very good. Yeah, the vanilla orange Coke was pretty damn good. Darn good, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
I've had a lot of the different Coke since I live in the town where Coke was created. I've had a lot of the flavors.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'll buy I'll go to Kroger's and buy the seltzer water. Yeah.
I realize this is highly controversial, but what's everybody's thoughts? I mean, the older guys, the only ones who remember this for sure. What's your guys' thoughts of clear Pepsi?
Who you calling old?
I think that was in the 90s, wasn't it? It was in the mid 90s, early 90s, mid 90s.
I don't remember. Is it clear?
Mid 90s. It was a huge controversial thing, almost as controversial as Coke's big blunder. But
it was hilarious, but it was just it's just one of those.
It was different. I didn't mind it. But
usually when there isn't coloring in there, it's better because the coloring is caramel color, which is not good for you.
Yeah.
Which is basically just sugar, more sugar.
Well, sugar and sugar and sugar.
And Arita says, I need a schedule because you have OCD. Oh, is that a new band on a CD? OCD? That's good.
You can tell a real caramel recipe because fake ones will have you use brown sugar to get the color. Real caramel is only using white sugar. You just have to cook it until it browns naturally.
I'll stick with classic Coke, Kenny. Also, yeah.
Yeah, I can't even do diet.
Orange vanilla is okay. It's good, but I like.
See what's wrong.
Diet Coke will give me a migraine for some reason. The fake sugar, I have no idea why. Every time.
But yeah, they say it's worse for you health wise. I don't know.
Check your genetic profile because there is a disease very few people have it. It's prominent among Amish communities because of but
how'd you guess?
Disease with that. Well, it's because most people in that community have I forget the name of it, but the compound that they use to sweeten Diet Coke before they were using sucralose is I think they were using aspartame, which is actually two inverted amino acids. And a certain percentage of the population would cleave it off in the wrong spot and actually cause a lot of neurological issues. So most people are tested for it. It's like it's PKU is the disease name abbreviation. I forget what it stands for. It's like phenylketonuredosis or something. But yeah, if you have that particular artificial sweetener, it will give you neurological issues, including headaches. Hey, I have a toxicology book. I should just look it up.
That's interesting.
Yep. Yeah, it has to do with that. That's actually why a lot of things started going towards sucralose, because biochemically, sucralose is one of the safer ones because there's no uptake pathway for it.
I have less problems with sugar myself. So I mean, with actual sugars, as long as it's minimized, I think anyone wouldn't have a problem with minimized sugar.
You always should, like I tell people, do not use artificial sweeteners. They completely mess your biochemistry up.
I have heard. I mean, it's still. I mean, the fructose is still. You got to watch the consumption because it's very fattening, but it's not as harmful from what I read. Right.
No. Okay. There's some truth and some misconception. Fructose is when you get it in a natural source, like in fruit. Its uptake is inhibited because there's always enough fiber to counteract it, except for bananas and grapes don't have enough fiber. That's just those ones that don't have it. The problem when you get processed food with fructose is the only organ that can absorb fructose is the liver, and it becomes rapidly overwhelmed, and it produces fatty acid bodies in a fatty liver. Same exact thing that alcohol consumption is. It actually uses the same pathway. That's why but if you do it with fruit, it's okay. If you do it in a soft drink, it's bad.
Have you tried that one, the Pepsi that has the real cane sugar, raw sugar, cane sugar? I thought it was pretty good. Real sugar.
Yeah. There's a Coke more money. Like that too.
Yeah. Oh, Coke has that with real sugar? I don't know if it's better for you.
It's called a Coke Life. It's stevia, I think. Coke it's like Life. Stevia and sugar.
Well, that's different. Stevia
that's different though. Oh, the
only sugar, basic table sugar. It's no different actually health-wise. It's not any healthier. The difference between fructose and high fructose corn syrup and sucrose is sucrose has an exact 50-50 glucose fructose. Fructose is 55 to 65 or 45 to 55%. So it's the same thing.
I like how Tom's got he's got like a library in his head.
Actually, I have a doctorate in this stuff.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You seem to have a lot of knowledge in a lot of areas.
Yeah, this is one of the biggest textbooks I think I have.
By the way, I don't know if you remember. I said this on one of the streams a long time ago that or about a month ago, that the internet was not working at our other house, and the issue, they finally fixed it. We had 2 Spectrum guys come out, and they ran a new line because the old one was chewed by squirrels.
Pretty squirrely.
Jill says Mexican Coke has real sugar. It's real Coke, man. Okay. No, I didn't know that Mexican Coke has real sugar.
Hey, when Mexico sends us their Coke, they're sending us their best.
Yes. Mexican Coke does have real sugar, from what I've seen.
I think high fructose corn syrup is banned there. I think, or it's more expensive there. It's one of the two.
Steve gave up all sodas. Good. It's good for Steve.
Yeah.
I there have been times where I gave it up for like a week, and I did feel lighter. I felt less like bloated, as it were. I mean, you get that quick sugar rush because it has caffeine too. But yeah, and you save a lot of money too.
I love my ice cream.
Well, I mean, I've dropped 30 pounds since November, and I gave up almost all my sugars.
This
Good for
this
you,
one,
Steve. Good for you.
this one came from my lab.
Yeah.
Our lab made this book. This was an exciting one. In fact, I got just one guy. My committee's on it. Oh, look at that! I found notes in my book.
But Carmine, I have to tell you, on Sunday we went out for dinner with for my stepmother-in-law's birthday, and we wanted to go to this Italian restaurant. So I partaked in some cannoli afterwards.
I love cannolis.
Gotta love cannolis.
We have there's a gelato shop near us that makes like the best cannolis ever.
I'm a fan of tiramisu if we're talking Italian desserts.
I think they have tiramisu also. I know they import the shells, the cannoli shells from Italy, I think, or the flour at least.
My wife makes her own when she makes cannoli. She makes the shells. She's got the tubes and all that. It's really good.
Yeah, we also have an authentic Italian pizza place here. You know, the real like Italian pizza.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good too.
Is the owner's name Paulie or
No.
Vinny or Guido?
I don't know.
Is that
What the
Domino's or is
Area.
that Little Caesars?
Oh, Anna Rita can't have snacks. Should I just go down and grab a bowl of ice cream?
Poor. You can't have just a little cannoli, Anna Rita, or a little snack, or a Reese's Pieces with extra peanut butter on top. Dip it in the peanut butter. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, poor Anna Rita.
But Anna, didn't your wife make you cookies?
You have a fasting test tomorrow?
I'll
Fasting
tell you,
blood test?
Fasting.
made
Blood-
I found a very incredible combination. I made an ice cream that is chocolate mocha. So I forget what kind of coffee it is, probably vanilla coffee with chocolate ice cream. And then I'm topping it with caramel syrup.
Oh,
That is so good.
no, that might be tempting. I like a good coffee ice cream.
You guys are gonna kill me tonight.
Sorry.
I want to go. I had a good dinner. I had my sugar rush. I'm going to go to bed right after this. So let's give this a 10-minute warning here. We'll call it a night. Yeah, no. Once I have my sugar rush, because if I have another one of Coke, I won't fall asleep. Another one, I'll be like, But normally, what I'll do is I'll grab. I have my Amazon tablet upstairs. I'll pick up where I left off reading my new James Bond book. I'll read until I realize that until the screen goes blank, and then I realize I've been falling asleep for a few minutes. That's when it's time to go to bed,
Yeah.
But there's probably a timer on that thing, I'm sure. But that's how I fall asleep. I read books now on my tablet. So
did you know you can go to? Have you checked out Project Gutenberg?
What's that?
Yeah. I use Project Gutenberg.
Yeah, it is a big repository of public domain classic books.
Oh, Project Gutenberg.
Any old classic books you might want, you can grab them over there, and then your Kindle will have an email address. So it's you can find it in your Kindle account. You just email the books to yourself, and they'll show up in your Kindle account.
Not to mention, I use you can rent a book out of the library, a digital book for any device, and that's awesome. I've done a lot of that.
Books, I believe, are rentable from certain libraries. I know my audio.
Tom, speaking of Gutenberg, have you checked the Gutenberg reviews lately?
It was a while back, a couple weeks ago maybe.
I haven't looked at it.
It's still bad. Every single update on Twitter, every time they push an update on Twitter, the first comments, have you dropped Gutenberg yet?
Okay, Ansem, I see you need to run. Thank you for stopping by, and you're welcome anytime. Maybe if I should, like I said, I should be on Sunday if you want to jump on. Tentatively for 1 p.m. Sunday, I should be home. So, and great.
Take care, Anselm.
See ya, Anselm.
Take care.
Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, I mean, this channel eventually always goes to food.
Yep.
Do you have some news
That's
Toss, do you have some news and nonsense for us?
Not for tonight. No, I didn't come prepared. Usually I have a few tabs open, but not. I'm afraid if I open up any more tabs, I'll freeze. I'll be like, and now for news and nonsense, we're gonna talk about but not tonight. No, maybe Sunday. I think what I'll do Sunday, I won't use my large screen. I'll just go here. So, See, I'm afraid if I unplug this thing, it'll freeze. I suppose since I'm close to the end of the show, I guess it won't matter.
Well, you have 15 minutes to come back in. It'll stay live. You know that.
Oh, is that what it is? I thought once. Okay, hang on. I'm going to try it.
It won't go. It won't kill the stream immediately. You have 15 minutes to come back in.
Okay, let me see here.
Yeah, the thing will stay open. But...
Okay, unplugged.
Joe just probably wants to go. I'm just kidding.
Okay. It says exiting mirror mode. Okay, it worked. Cool. Yeah, it's probably going to run a little bit smoother now.
Anna Rita just said your Chromebook is already smoking.
Your screen looks
18 years old, right?
Yeah. It's compared to my big screen. This thing is small.
Right, it has 2,800 reviews. 1,900 of those are 1-star. 493 are 5-star.
So, can you see yourself in there, Carm?
Yeah. What I did here, I have a split screen. To the right is the Google Hangouts, and the left is the chat room. So it works.
But your camera, does it look better to you? It looks better on our end.
Yeah. Well, because I haven't. It's not pixelated, right? It's more, yeah.
It seems smooth. It makes it smoother.
Yeah. No, it does seem a little bit better. Yeah. Yeah, this is not a full HD, machine or the webcam built in, but it works. It's good enough.
Looks good.
All right, I'm going to help Mitchell out with his fried rice recipe because I do a really mean one of those. All right, so fried rice, the key to good fried rice is you need to have sesame oil and soy sauce. You want to season up a variety of different things. So like you cook some eggs in sesame oil, you cook some chicken chunks in sesame oil. Basically cook your different components and then cook your rice separate. And then as you're mixing everything together, mix in some sesame oil into the rice and then soy sauce up to the saltiness that you need. That is absolutely the best fried rice you'll probably ever do.
Yeah, pretty much how I make it.
Yeah, and then I'll do, just a variety of, your usual suspects, some peppers, some onions, water chestnuts.
It's funny you say that because I think I've used butter before to make it, and it didn't come out at all like you can buy in a store.
Well,
it tasted worse.
Butter, that's what they use at those Benihanas at the the Japanese restaurants. That's what they use in their rice, is a garlic butter. It's a lighter garlic butter. Yeah. So you can't use too much of it though.
Yeah, the sesame oil is nice. It gives you a good seasoning for it.
I've told you that Italian restaurants basically dump butter into their tomato sauce to make it taste really good.
Yeah, and I'm going to try and remember to do that next time.
I have never heard of that. I don't make it.
My mom said she was at an Italian restaurant. It was like some event where you could see the people cooking. Yeah. And she saw someone dip a whole stick of butter into pasta sauce.
Well, that's not the norm. Trust me when I tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, people use some olive oil, but it's still not even the most common thing at all. I make a meat sauce that that goes back in my family on my mom's side.
Yeah, CJ, which part of California are you from?
You mentioned the Beach Boys earlier, right?
Okay, yeah.
I'm from the beach cities.
Got it. Now the reason why. Okay, so you're close to the ocean. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Now the reason why I asked because I'm catching up on news nonsense. A California city misspells the word stop. They spelled it STPO.
What California city was that?
Let me see. Wow.
It had to be a.
Let me see if it says here. Jeez.
They didn't want to say.
Let me see if it'll come up here.
Boy, we get picked on in California enough as it is.
Wow, how do you misspell stop?
You can blame that on the civil workers doing the.
Well, it's taking too long to load. Screw it. Yeah, just look it up. But yeah, they spell it STPO. Isn't that an oil? Oh, that's just STP. Okay, not STPO.
Not everything was perfect in California because they had all those. They have all those extra regulations and laws and everything.
I gotta ask the Californian, what is your thought about their taking coffee off of the cancer list? Did you hear about that?
You know what? I'll tell you what. I was just talking about this today. It's back and forth, and it's. When I looked at it, I wondered what was the specific substance that was supposed to be carcinogenic, and they never really told us. And there was, and it might have been in the process of how you make it, but they didn't point at anything from the beginning. So I didn't, And then there are studies back and forth constantly, like my whole lifetime, about how coffee is. So no, to answer your question, I'm okay with it. I'm not worried about it. I think studies speak for themselves that, I don't think anything's pointing to a major cancer causer right there. So
actually, some of the chief components in it are actually anti-cancer. That's
what I've heard.
Yeah, they actually inhibit, and I don't think it's the caffeine. There's one of the other components though that inhibits the enzymes that break up DNA. So like it's what it is. Actually, I think it is the caffeine. The free radicals that will go in there and break the stuff apart. Instead of hitting the DNA, it'll hit the caffeine instead, and so basically it binds up a neutral molecule.
Anna Rita just asked, is it okay to leave your ISP modem/router on when thunderstorming? The first thing is you don't want to use your ISP's modem and router.
I wouldn't have a problem because if it fries, it's their issue.
Yeah.
Antioxidants. Yeah, there's an antioxidant property. I think there are some antioxidants in coffee as well, but there's also something, and I think it's that caffeine that actually is basically a free radical absorber because it competitively inhibits for the DNA. I gotta look that up again. The thing about coffee though is just don't put sugar in it because that's what will make it worse for you.
Yeah, coffee black is the best.
Yeah. Cream's not bad, but
been drinking it that way since I was a little kid.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I still have a little bit.
I'll drink it black sometimes. Just depends what mood I'm in.
A coffee drink is good. Coffee and Zambuca, it is really good. I just never drink it like that.
Yeah, I love a good Chavalia.
And is that?
Yeah, there you go.
A little bit in
yeah. Let me see if I can break up some of these strange laws real quick. Then I'm going to wrap it up. It's 11:30, so I want to thank everybody who stopped by. This was fun. So let's see if I can bring this page to come up without it freezing on me. Let's see here. This is from Alaska. It is against the law to shove a moose out of an airplane.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before.
Okay. Wow.
That become a thing.
I didn't know that was a problem.
I just blame Palin.
Oh man. Wow. In Arizona, if you want to feed garbage to a pig, you'll need a permit.
I think
There's another joke there, but
I believe in Georgia, if I'm not mistaken, you're not allowed to have ice cream in your back pocket on Sundays.
In California, you may not eat It is against the law to eat dead frogs.
Yeah, I found that out the hard way.
There's actually, though, in a town in California, not too far away from Calaveras, is actually an annual frog jumping competition that a friend of mine actually won. So maybe that has to do with it. I don't know.
Let's see here. You are not permitted to catch fish in Indiana, huh? With a firearm. Okay.
Yeah,
I think that's what it says. Wow.
In Indiana? That's a surprise.
That's what it says, yeah.
I mean, it's overkill, but
wow.
I'm still surprised.
Yeah. Let's see here. In Massachusetts, you cannot give alcohol to a hospital patient if they've been hospitalized for something alcohol related. I didn't think that was a problem there, but okay.
This was an interesting news article that kind of made the rounds. 800-pound man in a hospital was taking up 4 hospital beds, and he ordered in for pizza.
Wow. Oh, Tom, this is for you. Because you have that Christian Christ channel in Mississippi. If you cause a disturbance in church at a church service, you can get yourself citizens arrested. In which book of the Bible is that, Tom? I must have missed that one. Yeah.
So he caused a disruption in church. It's got to be the one about in 1 Corinthians about the service should be orderly, not disorderly. And in all honesty, that's where
I know.
Okay.
For the longest time at our church, we had this really grumpy verger who would always get mad when somebody's phone rang in church.
Ooh. The flu has to get Chuck Norris shots once a year.
Oh, there you are, Tim. Sorry, but I'm on a smaller screen here. There you are. Welcome. How are you?
Hey,
that's
Tim.
Okay. Late day.
Yeah, there, yeah.
Late day.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you.
How you doing, Joe?
Yeah.
Good. How are you?
Yeah.
I'm doing. So how's your
in
Chromebook
New York,
deal
you
with
cannot take any tiger selfies. It's working. It's a little slow for this slow speckle, but it works. Yeah, it works. It's great. 10-hour battery life or more, and it does what it's supposed to do. So yeah. In North Carolina, if you want to play more than 10 hours of bingo per week, you'll need to find yourself a bingo exhibition. Otherwise, bingo enthusiasts are a violation of the state's gambling statutes. Okay.
When Chuck Norris stares at a solar eclipse, the sun goes blind.
Bada boom, bada bing. Yes. Oh, wow. In Huron, South Dakota, it is unlawful to cause static. Okay. In Texas, you are not allowed to pee on the Alamo. Oh.
Well, actually, there's a lot of people that have tried to do that. There's a reason for that law. Chuck Norris once heard so he tracked down nothing and killed it.
There you go.
The first computer dates back to Adam and Eve. It was an apple with limited memory, just one bite, and then everything crashed.
Yes. In Wisconsin, you can face 6 months in jail for selling home-baked cookies.
I wouldn't doubt it.
What's in the cookies? I wonder what's in the cookies. Oh. In Utah, you cannot buy alcohol during an emergency. That's because no one can sell you alcohol during an emergency. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. God. That's our taxpayers at work.
Chuck Norris can bake a cake in the freezer.
Good one. Whoa, that's loud.
I know. Trying. Sorry.
That's what I love about this channel.
In Nebraska, you cannot purchase a cocktail that mixes liquor and beer. Drink them separately. I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah.
No Corona and a margarita?
I guess not, yeah.
I don't know what I do here. Hey, Steven.
Hello, Tim.
How are you, pal?
I am doing good.
In Minnesota, it is against the law. You may not throw turkeys or chickens in the air with the intent to catch them. Yeah, this happens there with the other one. Chicken. Turkey. Chicken. Oh, man.
Hey, Joe, I got a question for you, Joe.
Yeah.
How are you on this without any headphones on and don't have any kind of bleeding come through in your system?
I should check to see if it's actually...
No, you're fine every time. It's like you got no headphones, no earplugs, no nothing.
Well, I've got two things going here. I just want to check to make sure the right one's running. I actually have... there's the webcam mic, but I set it to... I actually have a little $30... Let me see it. Independent... Well, it's kind of hard to see. Okay. Independent microphone here.
Okay.
And of course, I could hear you through the speakers on there. So I have.
Yeah, but there's no bleeding. There's no bleeding through. So
well, the speakers are strategically set up. They're back behind the monitor. I learned that lesson to have it not blaring into where the mic can pick it up.
I was curious. I was just very curious about that.
And actually, it's my webcam. Now here, see if do you hear a difference now?
Doesn't sound good.
Okay, because I can say I just switched it over to this mic. If for whatever reason it's not saving the settings to go onto this mic, and it's the webcam that's been picking it up. So
I pretty much
no, it's really nice because like we all got to use headphones. I mean, I'm not technical as all you are. And, every time I see you on, even Tom does this.
Yeah.
Like, how do you guys do this without putting headphones on? It's like, what the heck?
Well, and
without bleeding through the system.
It might have to do with where and how your mic setup is. So
yeah,
if
you
I'm not
watch feedback with that, that's the only thing.
The fact that I'm using, despite I have two mics here, I'm pretty sure my mic is going through my camera, and it will do an auto something or another.
Yeah, you could wind up picking up. I mean, with the webcam, depending where your speakers are, that's where you can bleed back sometimes. I have mine turned facing away and sort of not bouncing off of walls and stuff too.
Yeah, that's I'm sure if I turn my camera around, it might echo.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just very curious. That's all.
Stuff like this, I just use my webcam mic, but I do have this mic too that I use for videos.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a good one. I use a simple $20 headset that I got years ago, and it still works. I got very lucky.
You sound great, Toss.
Yeah, it works great. Yeah, no feedback at all, and it's awesome. Yeah.
No, very clear, and
Vince says a dead ringer refers to somebody who sits behind Chuck Norris in the movie theater and forgets to turn their cell phone off.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's got a new series coming out where he talks about military vehicles or tanks.
Oh, that's coming out next week. I don't know if it's a series, but it's a special he's doing with Knight Rider guy David Hasselhoff.
They showed that. I think there's three because there's one with an Evil Knievel spinoff.
Yeah.
One with Knight Rider and races with like other TV show cars. Yeah. And then there's one with Chuck Norris.
Yeah, no, it looks interesting. I want him to bring back Knight Rider. I think it's approprite now, 30 some years later. So
well, they did try a couple of years ago where
they had the wrong car. It was an ugly car. The wrong guy. It was awful. It was awful. There was no chemistry whatsoever. You need to have the original car at least.
I thought the Mustang looked much better. I don't know.
Really? No.
Whenever they remake something and they just completely trash the original, that just upsets me. I mean, there's no. I mean, just you know what I mean. They
original,
like Hawaii 5-0.
When they remake something and it's completely different, it's not recognizable.
Yeah. Or the new Magnum PI.
There is one.
Yeah, CBS.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Chuck Norris once took a lie detector test. The machine confessed everything.
Alexa told me one of the better ones. When Chuck Norris rides a motorcycle, the motorcycle wears the helmet.
Here's one for Quint. In high school, the teachers had to raise their hand to speak to Chuck Norris.
There must be hundreds of thousands of those. It's unreal.
Yeah. I'm actually on a Pinterest board right now.
Okay.
And, there's some good ones that are more visual. So
yeah.
A recent study has found that women who carry a little extra weight live longer than the men who mention it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder. Oh God.
Chuck Norris can pass a vision test with his eyes closed.
One thing is the air conditioner is right behind me, right in front of me. Can you guys hear it at all?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, it's really good. This mic is actually picking that up. Not really picking that up.
All right, everybody here in the live chat, I'm going to end the broadcast here. I'm going to stay on just a few minutes longer for my friends, but thank everybody in live chat. And again, I'll be on hopefully Sunday, 1 p.m. It'll be an open chat in there for my friends overseas. Maybe we'll get some folks overseas from Europe to join in. So maybe I'll catch all of you here in the live chat, or some of you, maybe Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. So thank you. And Arita and everybody else, Spin Viking, Jill, great to chat to all of you. Jan.
Jill and all you guys.
So, yeah.
Sorry to come on so late, guys.
No problem. No problem. You're welcome anytime. The one choice for replacement Hangouts would be Zoom, Rod. It's paid for the longer than 40 minutes, but that's one app that has proven itself. So that's a possibility.
We could also use Wire. That's another good one.
Yeah.
I tried Jitsi on Sunday.
How'd Jitsi do?
It did pretty good.
Yeah, Jitsi worked pretty good, Steve, but then I saw.
Although it didn't work extremely well with Fire.